Hello, Gebrina.
Hi, Odell. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm excited to be having this conversation with you.
I'm excited that we're having this conversation. We've had for me, the honor and privilege of working together with nonprofit organizations specifically, but not exclusively, and definitely around work concerning financial management, accounting, and bookkeeping, and helping them set up systems accordingly, and then actually monitoring and maintaining their operations. So it's great to be able to talk to you as someone who is a whiz and quite a thought leader around just practice around bookkeeping, best practices, and accounting.
Right.
So that's great. How long have you been doing this work now?
I've been doing the nonprofit accounting piece since 2009. So that makes it what 13 years now, about.
Yeah, just
And
about.
it was pretty much self-taught. Um, I've been doing accounting since high school, and then I went into book publishing, which is for profit, and now the nonprofit, which I really enjoy the most out of all of the accounting. And so, yeah, 13 years is a long time. And since it's self taught, along the way, I just picked up a lot of knowledge about what to do, what not to do, and what is intuitive to the client that I'm working with and such like that. Yeah, long time.
That's incredible that it's self-taught. I mean, a lot of my experience, although I have an MBA in finance and tax, my work experience was definitely corporate. And so I can relate to the self-taught aspect, and that really is a better way to learn,
Right. I agree with
better
you.
work. It's people want to say accounting is accounting and finance is finance, but nonprofit accounting and nonprofit finance and nonprofit bookkeeping has its own
There's no
nuances to
food.
it
Yes,
that
yes.
you have to be able to watch
Yeah.
and be very mindful of.
Right.
So, when do you have that moment of aha or excitement when you're doing this work with a client?
I think when they're happy, when they're like when there's a they had a stumbling block and I'm able to help them with it or give them another perspective at looking at it, and they're like, "Oh my god, I didn't think about that like that," or like, "Oh wow," because usually I go in, do the work, and my motto has always been, "Let the creatives create, and not worry about business." So, because I know creatives, they don't like business. And I learned that from, working in the publishing industry for creatives, that they really don't want to focus on that because it's the mundane things for them. They want to create. So, and the same, you could carry that same model to nonprofits. They want to do their mission, they want to do the programs. They don't want to worry about, okay, did I give a receipt to Jabrina? Did I, give the most recent invoice to Jabrina? Do I need to call Jabrina? Was this bill paid? They don't want to worry about that. So that's where I feel like I'm doing my most for the organization. And that's how I feel I give back to the community indirectly by making sure their finances are tight. Because now, oh yeah, well, they have the money to do their programs. And I'm a stickler about the money. Everyone knows.
Yes, you
Right?
are. You
Don't
are.
take the money. Why you want to spend this money?
uh,
It gotta make sense to me. Although I might not be, I'm not the ED, I'm not the CFO, but it's like, well, how does this further the mission? Like,
yeah,
oh,
you need to be able to challenge folks.
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah. The when a client is has a moment of realizing something they hadn't realized before, and you can see it in their face. You can
please,
see it like
yes,
they go, "Oh, okay."
right,
And once you have a client do that, and from my experience, once they do that, it changes the dynamic in my relationship because there's a level of trust.
trust, yes, 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 and that's very important,
And
very
we're
important.
only as valuable. One of our assets that we
Yeah,
bring to organizations is our capacity for people trusting.
Right. Right. Because if they don't trust you, then they're not going to trust your numbers.
Yeah,
It's really
yeah,
a
and that's a scary place to be in.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that works both ways.
Yeah, or they come to me asking questions that they should really be going to other experts, like maybe a HR expert or another Odell, so they'll ask me questions that, I'll know like just the surface of it, the answer, and then I'll say, okay, well, I'm not too clear about it. I don't want to give you anything wrong. Let me reach out to my network who will know the answer and I'll get back to you.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah. And I did readings on, what it takes to be like a controller or a CFO. I did, I read up on a lot of different things,
Right.
and I knew, okay, I don't possess that yet. And I'm still a work in progress for that. So, but what I can do now is get my master's, and that's where I'm at. So it's really important. It speaks to the education designation piece, because if it's not there, how can someone who wants your services really find to be trustworthy? Like,
Right.
how can you explain anything to them if you don't have that background? Yeah.
And so any way that we can kind of help people discover their greatness, then I think we owe it to ourselves to explore that and take advantage of that, and we owe it to ourselves as a responsibility to those who are traveling along this path. I mean, uh, anyone looking at this will know that we're both Black folks,
You're right.
and so they and we also know, like, we travel far, 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 far without having that run into a whole lot of us.
Right. Right.
So I think it's always important that, we stay true to that and
Right.
we acknowledge that.
Right.
And it has a big bearing on how we move in the world, who we talk to,
Yeah.
how we network, how we share lessons,
Yes.
and all of that.
Yeah. Pay it forward.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a really important piece of this. So it's good to hear you say that.